Hello, welcome to another fun episode from the Essence of Tea podcast. As you can see, if you're watching on the live video, I am all decorated and festive for the holiday season. I have gotten my first ever ugly sweater. I've never actually owned one before. I've got my Christmas elf hat, and I have some delicious hot chocolates today. You heard me right, hot chocolate. So typically, all of these episodes from the Essence of Tea podcast are on tea. And as you know, we've already done baking a turkey with tea. We've done some tea-infused wines for the holidays. And now for those of you who have kids who might not be getting into tea or just know the chocolate lover in your life who isn't quite that tea drinker yet, we've got amazing hot chocolates to go over with you today. So one of the very, very first hot chocolates that we ever served at Sipping Streams, honestly, was Swiss Miss. At our tea house, I just never really thought about making my own hot chocolate until one year at church, my friend Christy gifted everyone these homemade hot chocolate mix bundles. So they were like a little mason glass jar, and it had actual chocolate chips in it and marshmallows. And she said, these are just so easy to make. So I just made everyone what ingredients I had at home and made everyone a hot chocolate kit. So I thought to myself, that's a great idea. Just kept it in the back of my mind, didn't really think about it. And then one day at the tea house, we ran out of Swiss Miss. So my memory went right back to Christy and those Christmas gifts she gave everyone at church. And it was plain cocoa with some sugar, and if you wanted to add dried non-dairy powder, you could. And so my journey of creating all these variations of hot chocolate began. So first of all, I grew up in a Buddhist family, and so we didn't celebrate Christmas. That wasn't normal. Being an immigrant from Hong Kong, I did not know what was really normal and what wasn't normal because my whole upbringing was adapting to this American culture that we were surrounded by. And I remember in school that over and over again, kids would talk about Santa and having their stockings stuffed with goodies and toys and stuff. And I looked at our Christmas tree one year. I must have been like maybe 7 years old. And I noticed we had a tree up, because that's where we're adapting to this new American lifestyle. And I was like, we don't have any stockings. All the kids say Santa comes and puts stuff in your stockings. So I didn't really know much about Santa other than I heard kids talk about Santa and their wish list and writing letters to Santa, which I had no idea where you would send a letter to Santa. But our elementary teacher would help us write letters to Santa, even though I didn't know what Santa's address actually was. So I asked my mom one year, hey, aren't we supposed to have stockings? I know Santa comes down a chimney, and we don't have a chimney, but somehow he must make it down the boiler system or something like that, down the furnace, and somehow he shows up. But where's the stockings, Mom? Aren't we supposed to have stockings? So my mom, being very wise in listening to her daughter, her young child, was like, I guess we need to go get some stockings because the Santa Claus comes and fills them. So anyways, learning how to adapt to this American way of life with Santa Claus and with ugly sweaters. Like I said, this is my first ugly sweater I've actually ever owned, and making it fun for the holidays, especially this very difficult year of 2020. We've had so much fun dressing up the tea house, making fun holiday videos, and just trying to be more festive. So for those of you who have people who love chocolate and not so much tea, this is a great alternative, and it's been really fun creating new recipes this year. So one of our first our new recipes this winter was our peppermint dark chocolate. I mean, who doesn't like peppermint and chocolate? I surprisingly was shocked how well this recipe turned out. So getting ready for winter time, this is a new hot chocolate flavor that we are formulating. But everything started off with the base of the memory of Christy gifting us these homemade hot chocolate gifts, which start off with cacao, maybe some sugar, and maybe some dry dairy powder in it. But our original double dark hot chocolate is made with a high-end cacao formulation and just sugar. That's it. That way it's vegan and you can always add whatever dairy substitutes you want to put in it. So I'm going to show you just very basic hot cocoa that we have, but it's a double dark hot chocolate, more for those of you who like true cacao, true chocolate, and you don't want it super sugary sweet. So that's our base. And all of our hot chocolate mixes take 2 tablespoons, only 2 tablespoons, and a cup of water if you're lactose intolerant or vegan or whatever your dairy substitute is. So I'm going to just quickly make this for you, and you'll just see how this ends up being a very, very simple thing you can make at home. So we actually don't sell our double dark hot chocolate as a canister of hot cocoa that you can buy and take home because it's very, very simple. And it is our cocoa base that we use for all of our hot chocolates, except our salted caramel apple white chocolate, which literally looks like a green apple. So as you can see here, very basic. You can make it vegan. You can put oat milk in it, almond milk, whatever milk substitutes you want to put in it, or just regular heavy cream if you want it to be very, very decadent. And this is something I actually prefer because I am more of a dark chocolate person. For the longest time, I thought I didn't actually like chocolate, but it turned out I didn't like chocolate candy. That there's a difference of high-end chocolates and that actually have like high amounts of cacao versus things that are just sugary sweet and almost add like a lot of wax and other filler in there and mostly put sugar in it, like the milk chocolates, which in some countries wouldn't even be considered as chocolate. So this was our original base recipe based off of that Swiss Miss, running out of Swiss Miss at our tea house. Then we have, like I said, our salted caramel apple white chocolate. Now, all of our hot chocolates at Sipping Streams are very, very low in calories because we try very much to pair the ingredients, whatever those flavors are, to make them pop. With any sort of food or beverage pairing or formulation of recipes, you're wanting to meld and pair, and when I say pair, it means boost and accentuate those qualities of those ingredients to make them pop and stand out. And when you do that, you can actually use less ingredients or less calories by doing that. So what you want to do when you're blending teas or you're blending anything like hot cocoa is you're wanting to create levels. It almost looks like, I think of like a symphony and how there are different notes, high notes, low notes, deep notes, and you can feel the depth and you can feel the height and the valleys in a song. So when I am creating recipes, I'm thinking about how I can actually taste all the different notes as if you're thinking about a concert or a performance of a symphony or a song. So our salted caramel apple hot chocolate actually is vegan. It's soy-free and dairy-free, and it actually only has 45 calories per serving. So if you're a person who's worried about calorie intake or diabetic, granted, all of our hot cocos have real sugar in them. There's no sugar substitute, no artificial flavoring or anything like that. So this is something that is also very decadent tasting, but has low calories. And people say over and over again, wow, how did you do that? How is that even possible? Well, the answer is it's pairing the flavors, just like the same techniques that I use for creating any of our tea blends. I use that same food science to create hot chocolate mixes too. And yes, this does actually have coloring in it, so I guess it'd be a little artificial, but it's kind of fun and gives you the reminder that, oh, It's like a caramel apple. It is green. And this is definitely a showstopper right here. This green hot cocoa was our most popular hot cocoa blend that actually doesn't have any chocolate in it. First of all, let me say that again. This is like a white chocolate, but no chocolate, no dairy in it, but it literally tastes like salted caramel apple, like a green apple from a carnival, like a white chocolate. And over again, people say, wow, that tastes amazing. How'd you do it? Well, it's choosing the different ingredients and pairing them together and creating the depths and the heights and all the different layers and letting them stand out for themselves. So yeah, this literally feels creamy, non-dairy, and it is a green apple. It literally tastes like you're eating a green candy apple in the fall at a carnival. So this is very, very popular. And I have a lot of parents who always thank us every year for having a milk type of substitute or a chocolate type of substitute for their son or daughter in elementary school who have these Christmas parties at school when everyone was going to school in person. And they would have these Christmas parties and they felt left out because they had some sort of dietary restriction or allergy. So the salted caramel apple hot chocolate is a great alternative besides the double dark hot cocoa, which also has no dairy in it either unless you want to add it in there. Now, with our other flavors we have done a previous video on how we formulated our Alaskan blueberry hot cocoa that is made with locally harvested whole fresh Alaskan blueberries, but are dried and then pulverized. And so when you drink the hot cocoa, you're literally drinking all the health benefits of our wild Alaskan blueberries. We are currently out of that for the rest of this year until next harvesting season. And so that's why we won't be demoing that today. But if you look at our YouTube channel, there will be a video on the wild Alaskan blueberry hot cocoa. And then we have my favorite, which is the English toffee hot chocolate. And this actually is like more like a milk chocolate, but I love the flavor of toffee. And again, only 2 tablespoons per 8 ounces of hot water, which is a cup of hot water or milk or dairy substitute, whatever you prefer, whatever your flavor is, but it's 2 tablespoons per cup of hot liquid. So what's really nice about this is that, again, it literally will have chunks of English toffee in there. So it's like you're actually eating into like a candy bar, but you're drinking it at the same time. And I love toffee. Those of you who know me, you know that I have always been, since I was a little child, I have been drinking coffee forever, and toffee always reminds me of coffee. So this literally has ground up toffee in it that we pulverize and mix up. And so when you're drinking it, it literally tastes like you're drinking a chocolate toffee bar, and it's delicious. So it's not everyone's cup of hot cocoa because a lot of people like the plain and the original hot cocoa. But this one is definitely my favorite. And so we had 2 new releases this year of our hot chocolates. And it was, like I said, the peppermint hot chocolate, the peppermint dark chocolate. It's more like a dark chocolate. It only has 15 calories per serving, less than the salted caramel apple white chocolate. And you only need 2 tablespoons of it to make it. And when you drink it, you'll actually see the whole chunks of the peppermint that we put in there. So it has actual ground up peppermint candy in there. It isn't just flavored peppermint. It actually has whole chunks of peppermint candy in there. And my dad is not a sweet tooth person. He doesn't even drink hot chocolate. But when I tested it out on him this summer, when we were working on formulating it, I said, here, Dad, I just made this first batch round of the peppermint hot chocolate. Just tell me what you think. I know you don't like sweet things. And he drank some of it. And then he was about to head out the door. And then he turned around and he took a second sip of it. Now, for those of you who know my father, he is a retired professional chef. He has professionally cooked for over 45 years and helped a lot of people start their own restaurants. And he's not a sweet tooth person. And then he's like, kind of gave me this weird look, like, I don't know, not like he was very impressed or something like that. And then he takes another sip, and before you know it, he drank the whole cup before he headed out the door, handed me the cup, and said, pretty good. Just like that. So I'm like, okay, all right, I think I'm onto something, because this man who is very, very picky, has high standards for food, and doesn't like sweet things, he really likes it. So anyways, that's how the peppermint dark chocolate came about. And we also, if you don't know anything about the world famous Santa Claus house in North Pole, Alaska, have now been making all of their hot chocolate. So all the hot chocolates that are consumed there and what Santa drinks at the North Pole Santa Claus house, they drink this original Santa's hot cocoa, which I don't have some of that because we're off to make more of it today and deliver more of it to the world famous Santa Claus house in North Pole, Alaska. But it's called the original hot cocoa, and it's Santa's favorite cocoa. It's the plain Jane, just a really good one that would do really well with whipped cream, nice and sweet, a sweet treat for you to drink. And it is definitely more of a milk chocolate, but that has become very popular, so we started making it commercially for everyone to be able to order in store or online. And you can also get these hot chocolates at the world famous Santa Claus house from North Pole, Alaska. So hopefully this was a very fascinating episode for you today on all the different flavors of hot cocoa, from this green ghoulish salted caramel apple white chocolate to English toffee hot chocolate, our double dark hot chocolate, which was the original recipe that we came up with after we ran out of Swiss Miss. So many things come out of necessity for us here at Sipping Streams Tea Company. Our new peppermint hot chocolate, and our English toffee hot chocolate, and of course, the originals Santa's hot chocolate that they absolutely love in North Pole, Alaska. So I hope everyone has an absolutely wonderful holiday season, staying safe, socially distant, and staying well as much as you can wherever you are in the world. We love hearing your feedback. We hope you start new traditions and savor the old traditions that you have had in your life. For me, we just put up our Christmas tree, and that's just something fun. We only have 2 ornaments this year on our Christmas tree, starting a new life together. And so we hope you guys also get out and play outside wherever you are, even if it's 30 below. Take a walk, take a hike, and savor some of the treats that you get during the holidays, but also stay healthy, stay well, and stay focused on being together, to, even if it's over the phone, even if it's over virtual videos, however you are, stay in touch with your loved ones. That really, really helps us at this time of year when it might be very stressful, or some people might not be doing very well mentally with a lot of isolation, with cold weather, and with what's going on right now around the world. So everyone, I wish you well, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday season.